This Shabbat, we will be completing the book of Bamidbar, the book of Numbers, the fourth book of the Torah. And the heroes of the book of Bamidbar are not really Moses or Aaron or Miriam, although they're very important. The heroes are Tzelofchad, the daughters of Tzelofchad, a group of 5 women, 5 sisters in fact, all daughters of this man Tzelofchad, who had no sons. And they get the final word in the book of Bamidbar. And so I want to share with you a little bit about their story and what I admire about these women. For those of you who aren't familiar with the story, here's what happened. These women approach Moses just at the time when he is distributing the land amongst the tribes of Israel, getting ready to go into the land of Israel. And they come forth and they say, we don't have any brothers, our father had no sons, we want to inherit his land, we want a stake in the land of Israel, we want our portion. And Moses consults with God, and sure enough, God says, they're right, they can inherit, these 5 women can inherit, can have a place in the land. And especially this Shabbat, as today is Rosh Chodesh Av, it's the beginning of the 9 days leading toward Tisha B'Av. It's a time when we're thinking about our connection to the land of Israel. What we learn from these women is how important it is to do anything we can to find that connection, to feel that the land of Israel is ours, regardless of the circumstances of our birth. So that's the first thing I wanted to share with you about the daughters of Tzelofchad, Benot Tzelofchad. It has to do with their connection with Eretz Yisrael, with the Promised Land. But the second thing is a little more subtle. The story of Benot Tzelofchad comes back at the very end. They get the final word in the book. When everything, it seems, has been settled, they can inherit land, but the members of their tribe, the members of the tribe of Menasha, come forward to Moses and they say, this really isn't fair. It's all well and good for these women to inherit land. It was very, very unusual in the ancient world for women to be landowners. That's fine. But what will happen when these women marry another member of another tribe? Their land will go to that other tribe, and our tribe's land will be diminished, and we also want a stake in the land of Israel. We don't want our land to be lessened, and so everyone is vying for their connection to the land. It's very beautiful, but they say it's not fair. Why should we lose out? Using actually the same language that the daughters of Tzelofchad had used when they first came forward. They said, why should we lose out on a connection to Israel? Now the tribe is saying, why should we as a community lose out? And Moses says, good point, and goes and asks God, what should I do? And God says, here's the solution. God says as follows, Latov be'eneihem tihyena lanashim. These women can marry whomever they choose, anyone except ach lemishpachat matei avihem tihyena lanashim. They have to marry within their tribe. It's a fairly elegant solution, because if they marry within their tribe, the tribe of Menasha, then no matter what, this tribal land won't be diminished. The land that they own will stay within the tribe. Now, the daughters of Tzelofchad could have said, wait a second, this isn't fair. You've diminished my shidduch opportunities, my matchmaking possibilities. I have to marry just within this tribe. This land is my land. But they didn't say that. And the text emphasizes, at the very end of the book, the text emphasizes that these women, and they're mentioned by name, Machla, Tirza, Chagla, Milka, and Noah, that they chose not only to marry within the tribe, but to marry within the extended family. They were signaling the fact that even though they were thinking about themselves as individuals and what they wanted, they were not going to do that at the cost of those around them. That they weren't just standing up and protesting and saying, we deserve this land. They were also listening. They were listening to the community around them. They were listening to the needs of the tribe. It was a much more subtle leadership that they were offering. It wasn't always push, push, push for change. It was also listen. Listen to what you hear others saying. And that's where they are very strategic, and they're very wise, and they're teaching us about good leadership. No matter where we are, it's not just about projecting our ideas outward. It's also about listening and understanding the impact of our ideas, of our needs on others. I think talking and listening don't get enough attention in our world of leadership, in our world of protesting, of it's not fair, this is what I want. But we know that good leadership, that effective change making, can only happen when we listen at least as much as we are speaking. I know I try to do it in my work. I try to understand what are the needs of the community, how can I serve each of you. I try to do it when I'm with a family in a time of loss. I want to understand where that family is at, what they need. Or when I'm with a family at a time of joy and celebration, I want to understand what's going on with you so I can serve you and your needs. And it's true in our families, it's true in our careers, in our boardrooms. We know that good leadership needs good listening. And that's what the daughters of Tzelofchad teach us. So I hope maybe this Shabbat you can do a little bit of listening to the people around you. I know I'll try to do that as well. And this Shabbat as well, we're thinking of our connection to Israel. These are the two things that the daughters of Tzelofchad have taught us in this, the conclusion of the book of Bamidbar. I wish you a Shabbat Shalom.